All righty. All right, let's get started. So, welcome everybody. This session is called First to Go, Navigating the College System. And as presenters, we have myself, Monica Contreras. Next, we have Edith Lopez. Next, we have Alicia
Hello.
Paniagua.
Welcome.
And finally, Daisy Paniagua.
Hello.
Okay, let's continue. So, this is all about being a first generation student. So, who is a first generation student? And that is a student whose parents or guardians have not completed a college degree. A first generation student is also a student who is the first to attend college. A first generation student is a graduate or future graduate of a college. So I'm just going to share a little bit, like more of a chat with you about my story. So I have pictures of my parents and me when this was actually when I finished my master's program at Cal State Dominguez Hills. But I grew up always having the value of education coming from my parents. They always knew that having that piece of paper is what brings you up in this world. And so my dad, he comes from a family of 14. He was the second to oldest, so he was able to only go to school in Mexico for a few years and then had to let his brothers and sisters start their schooling. So then he had to stop. And my mom, she went to high school and after that was just never encouraged to go on to college, and she stopped there. And they both have been always instilled in me the value of education. And so I got my bachelor's degree in psychology at Azusa Pacific University. And while I was there, I pretty much had to navigate the whole college system on my own. And with the little help that my mom was able to help me with and support me, she did. Otherwise, it was just on my own trying to figure it out. And then we'll go into tips and suggestions for you later. But next we have Edith.
Hi, my name is Edith Lopez, and I am a Spanish instructor here at Cuesta. And my story is a little bit similar to Monica's. My dad, he has 8 brothers and sisters. My mom has 12 brothers and sisters. My parents immigrated to the United States at a very young age. I believe my mom was 16, my dad was 18. My dad always wanted to go to college, but he had to work and he didn't have the opportunity to. So again, since I was really, really young, he also instilled that in me. He was like, education, it's very important. I really want you to go to college and have a better life and reach that American dream. I was actually raised in Mexico. So it's kind of interesting because even though my parents immigrated, then we ended up moving back to Mexico. And then when I was 15 years old, we moved back to the United States. So I was 15 when we moved back to the United States, and I didn't know how to speak English at all. Like, no sabía ni una palabra. And I had to start from taking ESL classes, taking classes during the summer, so that way I could graduate at the same time as my other classmates that were around my age. And I did have a friend that she was the one that helped me out navigate through the whole college. She was the one that told me about SATs and about like college applications. And I ended up going to Cal Poly Pomona. I have a bachelor's degree in Spanish from Cal Poly. And then after that, I got pregnant and married, and I ended up finishing my grad studies in 2019 after my son Mateo was born. So there you can see a picture of my little son Mateo, and that's basically my story.
And next is myself, Alicia, and my sister Daisy will share shortly. But we come from a family in Mexico, right? Our family is from Michoacan, and so education was something that was very, very valued and instilled in us since young. My parents also, did not have a formal education, and they work in ag here in the Central Coast. It's all about agriculture, right? And so we come from an ag family. So for us, our parents would take us on the weekends to the rancho to work, and they would tell us, if you don't want this life, then you should study and go to college, right? And so I was encouraged to go to college. I went to Azusa Pacific University. I studied Spanish. I knew I wanted to become an instructor. And so I currently teach here at Cuesta. I'm a GED faculty. And I'm also the coordinator for the ESL GED for our continuing education program. And so, the transition from being here in the Central Coast and going to college in LA was definitely something new for me. My older sister, Maida, was the first to go to college, and she was paving the pathway, helping and guiding me. And so as you can see, my family right here, there's a picture of me when I earned my master's. And so there are 6 of us children and our 2 parents. So we're a family of 8, and I love them all very much. And so that's just a little bit about me, and we'll share a little bit about more of tips as we move on further on in the presentation.
All right. So everyone, my name is Daisy. I'm Alicia's sister. So my experience navigating the college system, I had my 2 older sisters, Maida and Alicia, who were great support systems alongside my family and mentors. And so for undergrad, I attended UCLA, where I majored in political science with a double minor in Spanish and education. And I'd say, moving from a small town to a city like LA, I definitely grew a lot and learned a lot. As an undergrad, I was involved in a number of different spaces, so cultural, clubs and advocacy groups. And so following UCLA, I definitely was open to the fact that there was just so many ways in which I could give back to my community and be involved with, some of the changes that I felt were necessary in so many different systems. And so right after graduation, I started working for a member of Congress in LA. And I, provided the congressman with a lot of different supports, and I advised him on a number of issues like education, immigration, labor issues. And so following, 4 years of working with the congressman, last year I decided to, and I was accepted into a master's program at Brown. And so right now I'm wrapping it up. But again, I recognize that being able to, finish my undergrad, go to grad school right now, it's thanks in part to just having such a great support system. So I'm excited to share a little bit more about, just ways in which as students you can navigate the college system. And Monica, feel free to take it away.
Before we continue, I just want to say, we open this space for you all to share and discuss, because oftentimes as first generation students, we don't even know, we don't even understand, right? And so that's okay. We just want to say that that's okay. I remember for me, I didn't even know what first to go or first gen meant. So this is one of the main reasons why the 4 of us decided to start this presentation for you all. So here are some of our tips.
Yes, thank you. So with that said, we thought that it would be a good idea to kind of look back and reflect on our college and university experience and put some tips down for you, the first generation student. So let's begin with mentorship.
So in terms of mentorship, so we laid out a few different points of, this exhaustive list, but it's some tips that we have. So when you think of a mentor, it's generally, and again, there's so many different ways to go about it. But, we recommend, identifying individuals that you connect with personally, I've had mentors, since I was in high school, and they were, some of my high school teachers who eventually wrote letters of recommendation for scholarships. Or once I got to UCLA, it was, internship supervisors or college professors. And so whether it's, folks from similar backgrounds or who may be passionate about, similar issues, there are different mentorship opportunities all around. And sometimes it could be an official program that, at a specific college campus like Cuesta, or it could be just, you take a class and the work that, one of your professors is focused on really resonates with you. It can be in a more informal capacity, but different ways to go about it. It could be just a simple conversation after class, where you ask for, advice or recommendations on, for example, how to navigate the college campus, resources, questions about, potential internship opportunities or work opportunities. But again, I'd have to say in terms of mentorship, a really important aspect is dedicating time to cultivate that relationship. So that can mean, sending emails every once in a while to share updates on, what different situations you might be in, or, checking in to see if they're available. I mean, right now with the pandemic, we understand situations have changed. So that can mean instead of going out for coffee, it can mean, having a quick Zoom meeting to ask about potential opportunities, right? So mentorship can look very different, but I think a key thing is just dedicating time to it and identifying those individuals that you think could be great support systems. Because for me right now as a grad student, I thankfully am surrounded by a great group of mentors who I can turn to, especially now as I'm approaching the job searching process. And, as a first gen, it can be intimidating if, given that oftentimes our networks may not be as large as other ones, but having a mentor can help you expand that network that you may have.
All right. In regards to finding community, which is another tip, right? And I'm speaking for myself, right, as a Latina, first gen, as a mujer, right, as a woman. When you leave your household, you're a part of your family, and community is everything. So when you leave and you're finally independent, you go to an institution if you decide to move cities, right, or to go to a different state or area. Oftentimes we find ourselves, okay, where's no tengo mi familia? I don't have my family with me, but you still have to reach out, right, and find that community. And that could be something as simple as making new friends, right? Talking to people when you're in class and making those connections. It could also be something like joining a club on campus, right? And if we're talking, and again, there are different clubs within different institutions. And here at Cuesta, some of the clubs that we do have for our students have been LLN, Dreamers United, Mecha Teacher Pathways, ASCC as well. So there's lots of opportunities for our students to engage and to build that sense of community. Another thing is that you can find your community off campus as well. It doesn't just have to be on campus. If you attend cultural events on or off campus, that could also be a way that you can connect. And, as a first generation student, that's something that we seek, those connections. And those connections could lead to those mentorships as well. And so a lot of these tips that we're going to be discussing today, they interconnect, right? And we can use them in various ways. This also works for us as we transition and we move on from college to our jobs, right? Or we move for a position somewhere. You still want to find that community, that connection, to make you feel at home, because family is a huge part of who we are, part of our of who we embrace, right? And so finding that familia, that community, is something that I knew I needed, and that was able to motivate me and push me throughout my years in college.
Okay, well, the third tip we have is ask questions. Do not be afraid to ask questions. I know that sometimes we can feel intimidated or speaking to a professor can be very scary, but in reality, we are just like you guys, you know, we're just human beings and we're not scary. We are here to help you. We want you guys to succeed. And I want you guys to keep that in mind, okay, that we're just people like you, and we have office hours, but right now, like for example, with the pandemic, we're very flexible. So don't be afraid to send us an email if you're struggling. You know, we're here to help.
And then along with that, it's also a really, really great idea to set up appointments with your counselors that you have. Like here at Cuesta, we have many different counselors, and the difference with high school to college is you don't have one specific counselor. You can go to anybody that you would like. And I'm a counselor at Cuesta College. And so my job at Cuesta is to help you. Like my whole job is just to be here for you, the student. So please, please, please come and talk to us. We help you set up classes. We help you figure out what it is that you would like to, you know, pursue in your education or career in the future. So, you know, we are very useful people here on campus. And then finally, we have study abroad, and this is kind of linked in also with knowing the opportunities that your school has. So that would be at Cuesta if you decide to go to Cuesta, but also any school that you end up attending. One of the things that I really wish I had done is search for those opportunities, and one of them being study abroad. I decided my senior year that I wanted to study abroad, and what I ended up doing is finishing my bachelor's degree and decided, you know what, I'm not going to live with this regret of not studying abroad. So I went, and at first I studied in Spain. And then while I was there studying, I decided I wanted to live in Spain. So with all of those opportunities, I was able to really travel, and just study abroad is opens you up to different languages and cultures and diversity. And it just really opens your mind up to all of these really, really exciting things that you can experience. And so I just added a few pictures of places that I was able to travel to, just to show you how great these opportunities can be for you.
Okay, so now it's we're gonna have a raffle. So go ahead and grab your phone and log into Kahoot.it.
And I'll stop sharing so you can start sharing.
Okay.
Awesome. This is exciting. So we're going to be raffling Starbucks gift cards. So I know we have 2 participants, but we're excited to have you here and to join us for this raffle and this Kahoot. But remember, we will be mailing you. For our winners, we will be mailing you our Starbucks gift card. So do not leave right after. We will need your address so that we can mail that gift card to you.
So after you log in, go ahead and enter the game PIN, which is 4239073. And then after you enter your PIN, you need to write down either your name or a nickname. And once you're ready, you can go ahead and click go.
Awesome.
Should I go ahead and get started?
So we have a few folks that are here. Please, please, please join us for the Kahoot. We will be raffling gift cards. You can remain anonymous with the nickname. You just have to go to kahoot.it and enter the pin. Awesome. Very good. We have a few players here. This is exciting. All right. Love it. Perfect. All right.
So let's go ahead and get started then. Okay, first question. Your sibling went to college, so you are considered a first-generation student. True or false?
Okay.
Okay, so the correct answer is true. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so Alicia is on first place right now. Okay, number 2, what is a first-generation student? Someone who does not go to college, someone who is the first in their family to attend college, or someone whose parents went to college in the US? Okay, so the correct answer is someone who is the first in the family to attend college. Okay, let's move on to the next question. So now Daisy is in first place. Last question. When you go to college, you should find time to party, not study, nor ask for help. True or false? Okay, so the correct answer was false.
You definitely ask for help.
And so our winner, our third place, sorry, it starts by third place, is Alicia. Second place, Daisy. And first place,
Mo.
no. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and stop.
Awesome. So if we can just get the address, go ahead and value your gift card. We're so excited that you joined us for today. Like we said, you know, as first generation students, we should not be afraid to seek for help, right? To find our community, to seek mentorship, and to utilize our resources so that we can be successful during our time at college. And so we hope that these tips were useful and resourceful to you. We're here if you have any questions. We're all, you know, here sharing a little bit of our story because we recognize that there are folks that look like us, that talk like us, right? That are going to school, that are first generation and that have been successful. And so knowing and sharing these stories, you know, we hope that you're encouraged to continue your studies. And whether you're already a graduate, right, and you're looking for a master's, or if you're already in your master's and you're looking for a doctorate, or if you're a high school student looking to go into college or whatnot. We just hope that this was encouraging and motivating, and just reminding you that as first generations, we still need to take up space and be there for one another and show support. So thank you all. I don't know if there's any last things that the rest of the moderators or presenters would like to share.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.